President Trump announced a ceasefire between Israel and Iran is now in effect, calling on both countries please do not violate it. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed Israel has agreed to the ceasefire, saying the goal of removing Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile threat had been achieved. Iran's foreign minister says his country has no intention to continue attacks if Israel ends what Iran describes as illegal aggression against its people. Tehran launched several waves of strikes in the hours after Trump's initial announcement, but stated those strikes had come ahead of the agreed deadline. There's a look at the Brent and WTI price right now, and here's a look at the oil majors. As you can see, we're off pretty markedly in lockstep with the oil price. Shell down almost 5%. Total Energy's down more than 4%. In terms of the airlines, we're also watching the airlines quite closely. We saw a sharp negative reaction initially given the higher price of oil and the closure of the airspace in the region. Now this morning, a major bounce back. You've got Air France KLM up 8%, Lufthansa up more than 5%. We're still waiting on an opening print for the IAG stock as well as EasyJet here in the UK, but a pretty remarkable move higher there in the airlines, suggesting to me perhaps a bit of short covering this morning when you see a move of that size. Now on to the defense names. A lot of action in these stocks as well lately, and today is no exception. We're seeing a pullback across the defense names. Investors perhaps unwinding some of those trades given the de-escalation, the significant de-escalation this morning. Rheinmetall, Hensoldt off almost 4%. Tala's down about 3%. Let's get out to Dan, who joins us with the latest from the region and the implications for the markets from here. Dan, good morning.
Hi, Juliana. Well, Israel was really the missing piece of the puzzle when it comes to this ceasefire, and now the Israeli government has confirmed that it is indeed joining in alongside Iran and the United States on this ceasefire effort. So the region really breathing a sigh of relief this morning, in line with what we're seeing unfold in the markets right now. As you've just flagged, we're seeing defense stocks falling, but also the price of oil really now pricing in the de-escalation path at this point. Just a short time ago, we saw Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu actually issuing a statement confirming that Israel would indeed be joining this US-led ceasefire effort. That statement saying, in light of achieving the objectives of the operation and in full cooperation with President Trump, Israel has agreed to the president's proposal. It adds that last night, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu convened the cabinet along with the Minister of Defense as well as the Chief of Staff and the head of Mossad to report that Israel, it says, had achieved all of the objectives of this operation. Number one, removing the dual immediate existential threat, that is the nuclear file, but also the ballistic missile file in Iran as well. In addition, this statement posted by the Israelis also boasts that the IDF had achieved full air control over Tehran skies over the last 12 days. It adds inflicted severe damage on the military leadership of Iran and destroyed dozens of central Iranian government targets as well. Now, this all coming, of course, not before we saw Iran attempting to mount what was a last-ditch effort to send more missiles into Israel. We saw several waves of missiles actually flying into southern Israel earlier today, resulting in what we understand to be at least 3 deaths on the ground there. This is largely seen as symbolic as well, in addition to last night's attack on the largest piece of American military infrastructure in the region, located, of course, in Qatar. The attack on the US airbase in Qatar also largely symbolic here, with the majority of missiles being intercepted and, of course, no civilian casualties or American personnel being killed on the ground. So this is in historical context here, what we would expect to see from a regime attempting to de-escalate. And that is apparently what we are seeing unfold right now as well, with this ceasefire also now coming into effect. So plenty of questions about where this leaves the region long term as well, and of course what it ultimately means for the prospect of any type of renewed talks on the Iran nuclear file as well. We'll have to watch and wait to see what unfolds in the coming hours and days to see if there's any appetite to bring Iran back to that US negotiation table.